Hello, and welcome to Adente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey. The E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have, for the last of our, well, the last for the time being of our SCPs that are based off, or that were linked in from the Joey Fucknuts saga. We have SCP-3884, or Gunmetal Gary. So, we're back to some Joey Fucknut stuff. We had a bunch of gripe and stuff with that with the mother, bunch of bullshit. Wasn't even Mother's Day.
Wow.
But now we're back with our good old friend Gunmetal Gary from the.
It doesn't say Gunmetal Gary anywhere in this.
Yeah, it does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Maybe I read over it because you already told me what his name was. It's entirely possible.
I'm pretty sure it says his name in here somewhere.
Control F. Gary. Yeah, okay, it does.
Okay,
I just totally read over it because you already told me.
Yeah. So let's just dive into the rundown here. So as has been kind of our trend lately with SCPs, this one is by CadaverCommander. It was in the Joey Fucknuts story. Joey Fucknuts makes a new friend. And yeah, here's the rundown. What do you get when you cross the Night Hauler, the black metal boneheads of Vulture Gulch, and the song Praise the Lord and Pass the Ammunition? You get this SCP.
You're not wrong.
It's a big old black military cargo truck that can manifest at will, moving and move supernaturally fast when it needs to. And it goes into population centers like parking lots or flea markets or like farmers market sort of areas where there's a lot of people like perusing goods and what have you. And its driver will then get out of the truck, and the driver, of course, is Gunmetal Gary from that lovable little zombie.
From Joey Fucknuts fame.
Yeah, of the Joey Fucknuts saga and fame,
Mm-hmm.
yes. And yeah, he's a zombie in loose military fatigues. And he begins attempting to distribute military hardware and weapons to civilians for reasons. If an authority figure of any kind tries to obstruct or apprehend Gary, the truck explodes violently and Gary vanishes. He and his truck then appear somewhere in the American Southwest. And his guns and weapons have an advert like that come along with them, like a little flyer that is duct taped to them. That has a score and prize system attached. That is supernaturally tied to Gary. He seems to just want to arm people to fight the mother. Yep, that one. The one that we've been talking about for the last couple of SCPs. And her spawn. Thus far, he has been unsuccessful, thanks in part to people not accepting his gifts, but also SCP, the Foundation's Roadhog division. You know, that squad that's been also dealing with the creepy cannibal diner SCP.
I was going to say, that is the same one, right?
Yeah, it's the same division, essentially. I think there's probably like different teams of Roadhogs, like out in the American roads.
Yeah, it might have been a different number. Like, these guys are 66 and the other guys are something else or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're still Roadhogs.
Yeah, like the ones that do... Yeah, because like they seem to be in charge, basically, of American road infrastructure, like monitoring the situations that happen on the roads and whatnot.
Yeah, regardless, they are large Australian guys that wear a gas mask and have like a junk shrapnel gun, and they have a hook with a chain that they can like pull entities towards themselves.
Is that a fucking Overwatch?
Yeah, it's Roadhog from Overwatch.
Son of a bitch. See, I was just gonna go. It's like, oh, they're clear. Like, I just envisioned like they're just a bunch of like middle-aged like or elderly dudes with that are bikers.
It's the movie. I think it's called Roadhogs.
Yeah,
where it's
with-
like
with-
the four like dads that form like a crappy biker gang.
Yeah, with John Travolta and
Yeah.
I can't remember any other actor's name in that
Others.
movie. Yeah, and others. I think is Tim Allen in that one as well. I think.
Yes, he is.
No, I got to look this up. Fuck, you're making me
Doing
look
it
this
right
up.
now.
Damn it.
Damn it, Roadhog from Overwatch is showing up.
Yeah, same. God damn it. Roadhog. Oh no, Wild Hogs. That's what they're called. That's what
there
that
you
movie's
go.
called. And it's 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 John Travolta, William H Macy, Tim Allen, and Ray Liotta.
There you go.
Wow. Oh wait, no, hang on. Wait, there's another actor in here. It's not. No, Ray Liotta
I
wasn't.
see Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence is the fourth one. Yeah, Ray Liotta I think is the villain. Sorry, that's what came up in the cast. Like apparently
okay.
top billing was John Travolta, William H Macy, Tim Allen, and Ray Liotta, not the other. Wow, not the token black guy from
Of course.
in the movie. Wow. Anyway, that aside, yeah. So that's about the gist of this one. It's basically a guy who just gives shotguns and weapons away with a flyer with a point and score system, like a fucking video game. in reality.
Pretty much.
So, I suppose we move on to everyone tolerates the Graham Inquisitions. At this point, I thought I had one, and then I checked it, and it wasn't. So, do you guys have anything?
Wow.
Like, I
haven't
thought-
been sent in for a bit.
Okay, like I thought I had one when I was looking, like when I was reading through one of the some of like the list of weapons and stuff that he drops off, and it's like anti-materiel weapon, like rifle, and I was like, haha, I found one, and then I googled it, and anti-materiel is actually apparently the way you say it with an E, not an A.
Whoops.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, well, that's fine. But yeah, sorry, Mikey, you had an it story.
And it's sentence.
So, okay. Okay.
And now, it
It has shown the ability to attain speeds of over 270 kilometers per hour and exhibits effects characteristic of a Class 2 reality distortion field, including spatiotemporal translocation and the spontaneous manifestation of matter described in further detail below.
That is a
It-
fucking run-on sentence.
A little bit.
Hmm.
God
Wow.
damn. Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's an it story. It's an it story in a single sentence.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
But what was it?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the thing. Like it, because it doesn't manifest matter. It's SCP-3884-01 that does that. Like the driver does that, not the vehicle. Which it was talking about as the thing that can
How
move
do
really
you
fast
know?
and teleport. I mean, yeah, I mean,
He could pull them from the vehicle.
Well, it doesn't sound like he does. Like, well, at least based on the
He
story
just
that
says
we
he
read.
can make them for reasons.
Yeah, he makes them for reasons. I don't know why. I do it.
Yeah, but it doesn't even say how.
I know. Yeah, it just. Well, and then in the story of Joey Fucknuts, he does just like randomly like pop out a shotgun out of his ass.
Oh, that's true.
Like, remember? It's just like he like puts it behind his back and it's gone.
Yeah,
Like a fucking cartoon
I don't know.
character.
pretty much.
Yeah. But so that's your it sentence, Mikey.
Yep.
Is that all you got for grammar acquisition?
Yep.
Okay. Gamer, do you have anything?
You guys are really dropping the balls on this grammar inquisition stuff, man.
I know.
Like, I guess I'm gonna have to pick up. I don't have any.
I was really hoping that was going to be the. Like, I was like, I think is he doing a joke?
Yeah,
Is he doing one of the jokesies?
I did it.
Nice. But yeah, as is somewhat common with SCPs, they're generally not that badly like edited. So, but I suppose we should move on to the actual thought. Actually, you know what? Before we get
I
on,
mean, I could say
hang
a
on,
thing.
hang on. Before we go into actual
You
thoughts,
could say a
have
thing.
I do have a gripe with this story grammatically. Well,
There you go.
maybe not grammatically, but like formatting wise. So like again, SCP-3884 is beautifully done, like formatted. Like it's got the nice like iconography and stuff that we've come to expect from some of these like some of the SCPs that are around this numbering that CadaverCommander has done. And I don't fault it for that. The thing I fault it for is the fact that there's a story that is linked in this entry that none of us read until this, or knew really aware of until like a few hours ago.
Because the links are so freaking hard to see.
Yeah. So it's hang on, where's that fuck? I can't even find it. It's just black now. Like the link is either
yeah,
like,
I
really
know that's the
dark color.
problem. When I first read the story, I saw it because it's red, but as soon as you click on it, it goes to such a dark red you can't see it anymore.
Yeah, like I'm slightly colorblind in dark colors, and to me, I'm staring at it. It's black. Like it's as black as the rest of the font. So here's the font. Here's the quote. SCP-388401 will loudly advertise its products and attempt to give them to any passerbys within arm's reach. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Loudly advertise its products is the hyperlink to a story that's part of a canon of stories. Like it's a collection of stories that are part of the Dread and Circus canon of the SCP world. And the story is titled Undead, Insane, and Fully Loaded. Now, none of us have read it, and from the sounds of it, it's based on the hub canon that it's a part of. It is interlude 2 of a collection of stories that and there's like 15 stories before it. So at some point in the future, I think we might sit down and like commit a like 24 episodes of our show to just covering this canon.
If it's half decent.
Yeah, that's never stopped us before.
That is true.
I say that out of love for the stories I read.
Mm-hmm.
Like the good and the bad, because I mean, let's be honest, some of these stories are bad. But, yeah, I think at some point we're going to have to read these stories because it does have Gunmetal Gary, and Gunmetal Gary. I mean, personally, I really like this character. So,
I mean, he's mentioned in this story, and I don't know if he's going to have a big role.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my big gripe. Like before we go into actual thoughts, is that guys, SCP folks out there, can you please distinguish your hyperlinks in your documents a little bit better?
Like at least underline them. Like underline them bold.
Or even if they're kept bold, like that way, like, oh, why is this lettering in this document bolded, whereas everything else around it is not? Click. Oh, it's a hyperlink.
Yeah.
Like,
or do the thing where it's like an annotation saying like the little number after it, and when you click on that, it takes you to the bottom of the page, which has a very clear URL there.
Yeah, that would be also really good. Yeah, because like we've praised before the annotations.
Yes,
like those are fantastic for this. But yeah, that's really I think one of our biggest gripes about in terms of the grammar and stuff of that and the formatting of this entry is it's falling into that issue that we have where some of the hyperlinks are literally hidden in the entry.
Yeah, and I don't even know if that's this story's problem in general or if that's just SCP in general.
Yeah,
because there's been multiple that this has been a problem in. Yeah, granted, I think they've all been stories written by the same person.
Well, I don't think they're all maybe this is something that just needs like perhaps CadaverCommander could work on. Like some room for improvement here. Or this might be also
the only people that care about this.
Yes, maybe. But it is something also like that SCP writers maybe want to keep in mind when they're writing these stories and adding hyperlinks to other entries and some of that. Is like maybe try and make that clearer in your document so that somebody doesn't skip over it and miss it.
Yeah, because like all the colors, it's not like the SCP website is locked to certain colors, because we've read stories where there's been random orange letters and green letters and stuff when it's talking about other things. So
yeah, exactly.
You have a choice.
Yeah, but I think that's enough digression. We shall move on to the actual thoughts of this entry that we're just covering the entry. We're not covering the story that was linked to it. Or the story that is linked in it. So
Yeah, we're doing this story, not the story within the story, which is a story within other stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just gonna. I'd add the Inception music, but I think that's copyrighted.
Yeah, you can hum it.
Whoa.
There you go.
There we go. All right. Anyway, actual thoughts. Getting to the meat of the potatoes of this entry. So, if SCP-3884 is stationed in a heavily populated area, Foundation assets will establish an observation cordon around SCP-3884 and immediately confiscate any items distributed to the populace by SCP-3884-01, while deflecting local law enforcement involvement. MTF Row 66 will then track SCP-3884 until it has cleared the population center, then engage. Resultant explosion will be publicly designated as a vehicular accident. So, I really like this idea of a supernaturally active bomb disposal operation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, that's basically what it is, like, what they're dealing with. It's like this, like, super, like, obtuse, like, bomb disposal, like, unit. Because, like, they know, like, it's an eccentric or it's an esoteric, like, sort of, like, disposal. Because it's a supernaturally active creature that will explode if dealt with any kind of obstruction from justice.
Its own justice of giving guns.
Exactly. So and to me personally, like this idea, like actually I kind of like want to use that for like a game scenario, or even like maybe it could even be used as a standalone story of just like a really weird like occult bomb disposal unit that just has to deal with like things like this, like spontaneous human explosions, or like where they had to like get somebody out of a crowd and like move them to a safe location and then trigger the supernatural effect that they give off.
Yeah, it's always like anomalous explosion-related tasks that they have to go on.
Exactly. It's like the Hurt Locker, but with like Hellboy.
Yeah, sure.
The Hurt Locker was a movie. I think was a war drama about like bomb disposal units in the Middle East. I think.
I see.
I've never actually watched it. I just kind of had a passing note of it.
You got the gist.
Yeah. I knew that the guy like gets into a bomb vest and stuff like that and disposes of bombs, or like deactivates or disarms or prematurely sets off bombs or like mines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that was my big thing from that one part of the story. Was like I kind of like the idea of a supernatural bomb disposal unit. It's like, oh, we gotta make sure this thing doesn't like get it out into safe, get it away from safe from casualties, and then once it's in a safe distance, then you set it off.
Yep.
I
it's
just
like a
imagine
task force for supernatural things.
Yeah, exactly. It would definitely fall under the supernatural task force. It's like, all right, it's on the all right, 3884 is on the road. All right, disposal unit, come in, and suddenly like just like they just have a SWAT car, and they just like as soon as they set up the sirens and start getting closer to the bomb or to the car or the truck, that's when it just blows up.
Yeah,
like they use it as like the trigger mechanism. And then I was gonna start like picking away at the advert that is transcribed in this entry, but then I put in my notes, you know what? Just read the fucking advert. So I'm gonna read the advert that accompanies, that is affixed crudely to the weapons with duct tape, because the text is as follows. It's time to lock and load, citizens. Do you want to be safe? Do you want to show those bastards how tough you are? Are you as fucking terrified as I am? Now you can defend yourself and your loved ones with these excellent shooters and blow-em-ups. I made them myself, and they're real good. This is not a drill. Civilization is under attack right now by some nasty characters. They're definitely not from around here. I can make these things out of thin air like some kind of goddamn shotgun wizard for reasons that are beyond my understanding, and I'm passing the savings on to you! Collect enough civil defense points and earn some super special prizes to fight that evil even harder. What are civil defense points, you ask? Here's a handy list to get you started. Ha ha ha! Literally, it says "ha ha ha!" exclamation point at each one.
Yes.
Grab a weapon from your pal, Gunmetal Gary. 1 point each. To be forearmed is to have at least 4 kinds of arms. Stop a crime, 5 points. Take that, bad guys. You're not in our backyard. Evildoers don't deserve kneecaps. Muster a militia, 20 points. Lead your squad to victory against evil. If you're going to get eaten, you might as well go down together.
That's a good response for that.
Yeah. Neutralize an adversary, 30 points. Yeah, fuck that guy. The fuck is bolded.
Ooh.
And then slay a beast of the mother, 50 points. She's not welcome here. The only way to defend your children is by killing hers. So when I read that, I just want a quick aside. When I read that, I was like, the only way to defend your children is by killing them. I thought I was going to say that, but it's like by hers. Oh, okay.
That's a little better, yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like, Gary, what the hell?
Yeah. And then we get this. Redeem your points for amazing prizes and take the fight to evil's doorstep. Don't worry, for some reason, I already know where you are. And your prize is already on the way. 5 points, limited edition Gunmetal Gary body armor. Make your hide as tough as steel. Heck yeah! Keep your guts where the big boss put them. 50 points, one of Gunmetal Gary's patented cremator, flamethrowers. 3 barrels of white-hot justice, fuel canisters included. Our enemy doesn't fear fire, but it sure makes me feel better anyway. Light those things up like a goddamn Christmas tree. Feel the heat. Woo, baby! 200 points, 12-pack of Gunmetal Gary's signature Perdition signal grenades. Just pull the pin and throw, and your airstrike is inbound, soldier. Never fear, Gary's got your back. Let them look upon the sky with terror. They've got the oceans, but they sure as fuck can't fly. Yet. Jeepers wow.
Jeepers wow.
500 points, 1 Iron Devastator assault vehicle, designed by yours truly. With hardware like this, evil doesn't stand a chance. Holy crap, look at this hot mama! You are humanity's steel-clad salvation. You are heavy metal thunder. They said a tank the size of a house was too much. I said, go fuck yourself. And then we have 100,000 points. You are beyond war. Your time has come. And that's it. So, yeah, I really needed to read that out because, goddamn, is that gloriously, like, awesome, but also borderline creepy.
A little bit. Bit.
So here are my notes that I took from the advert. How he made the guns, first off. Like, I was like, wait, am I SCP-388401?
Yes, you are.
Because of, the whole fabricated shotgun syndrome?
Yes, or at least you knew about him.
Yes.
Before you knew about him.
Wait, am I 388401A?
Oh.
Wow. Do I have to draw myself as Gunmetal Gary in the cultist outfit with a shotgun?
With, like, the German helmet that he has?
Yeah.
Totally.
Interestingly enough, the fan art I have seen online, because there's a bit of fan art for Gunmetal Gary and the boneheads of Vulture Gulch.
Yeah.
He's not decked out in German fatigues. He looks like a U.S. soldier.
Oh, he is. He just has a German helmet.
Yeah, but in the fan art, it is not a German helmet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it says it clearly.
It says it clearly, but yeah, like, again, some people don't read fine details or like kind of get lost in like one image of something after they see like a couple of words.
Fair enough. Plus,
I'm guilty of that.
I could wear a baseball cap today and like a bandana tomorrow and a cowboy hat after that. I have that option. He does too. He's not a video game character.
I mean, you say that.
I do.
Also, now I know what I'm drawing. How I'm drawing the gamer in yellow. It's just juggling a ball cap, a bandana, and a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on from that silliness, the redeeming system itself. I love the part where he already knows where you are and is delivering your prize right now. Like, Gary's like that weird gun fondling corpse Santa.
I'm sorry.
He's very similar to Santa in that he borders that same creepy, not creepy implication of like he already knows your location and he wants to give you a gift. It's kind of creepy if you think about that. If you think about Santa that way, it's like he knows when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Like
for
that's,
fuck's sake, actually.
Yeah, that's kind of that's kind of borderline like innocent but also creepy.
Mm-hmm.
And the same kind of thing goes with Gunmetal Gary. And it's just kind of slightly more on the creepy side because he's a gun fondling corpse.
Yeah, slightly creepier than a jolly old Saint Nick.
Although a jolly old fat man who sneaks into your house at night on in the winter solstice and leaves presents and eats and drinks your food and milk.
He's welcomed. It's fine.
It's about as creepy as mummers. So
yeah.
So yeah. Which at some point
fine with him doing it. It's fine. The cops are fine with him breaking in.
Yeah. Oh, that's just Santa.
Gifts. Yeah.
I mean, we've already talked about like the bourbon Santa. That guy's not okay. Or sorry, not bourbon Santa. The Bailey's Santa.
There you go.
SCP. Yeah, that's not okay. But like normal Santa, that's totally kosher.
Yeah.
But moving right along, the 5-point redemption, which is as I said earlier, it's a limited edition Gunmetal Gary body armor, and it says this. Make your hide as tough as steel. Heck yeah. Keep your guts where the big boss put them. So that could be interpreted two ways for me. That's either just like an analogy to like like it's like good old God up in heaven kind of thing. Like put like where the Lord like put you down where the Lord or like something like that. What's that? Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, sort of thing. Like that kind of euphemism or that kind of. That kind of analogy.
Never heard that one.
Really?
I'm assuming that split is referring to your ass, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like don't let the door. Yeah, it's when you're telling somebody off to get the fuck out of here. It's like don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. But yeah, it's. I felt it was either it could be that like because this character does have that kind of Americana euphemisms and like terminology and slang to his character. Or. Is it the boss who created the Vulture Gulch folks?
Ooh.
Who we still don't know the identity of. But this comment has me curious and speculating. It's like, is the big boss... Now, is the big boss or the boss from Vulture Gulch, is he just God? Or is he some other entity that is a creator of sorts? It had me like speculating for like a brief moment. It's like, wait, what if there's something deeper in here? And I could just be completely bullshitting right now. And have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. It's very possible. In fact, that's
we never
95%
know
of my
really what we're talking about.
Yeah, I was going to say this. Yeah.
There's no info there that tells us one way or another, so we're left to assumptions anyways.
Yeah. I mean, 90% of the time, I am bullshitting.
All the time.
Because I have no clue what the fuck I'm saying half the time.
So, right.
90% of the time.
I think your ratio is higher than that. You're not that dumb. That's more my ratio.
I mean, I think you're also like putting yourself down a little too much.
Maybe. Well, that's because I'm dumb.
Fair.
Hey.
All right, moving on.
Okay.
And then yeah, the whole advert. My other comment about like the whole advert as a whole. So like Gunmetal's Gary's existence sort of gives me this idea. Like that comes to mind from the theory of like the universe is a simulation, or like kind of like that Matrix thing, where like we're all in a video game, or like reality is codable, or like you can break reality like a fucking video game. It would be really interesting to explore this kind of character, like who can just like spontaneously generate weapons and items and stuff like that. Has like sort of breaks reality in a GTA, like in a Grand Theft Auto video game sort of way, by like popping on his phone and just like suddenly summoning a car or something like that. Like inserting video game logic into reality the way Gunmetal Gary does kind of with his weapons and guns and stuff like that. And the point and score system is very much like sort of a it almost feels like the sort of tasks that you get in like Killing Floor or like one of those like co-op multiplayer shoot 'em up games. But it's in reality, and I think that would be really interesting to explore as a story or even a game idea. And it also is apparently kind of in the zeitgeist right now in like pop culture because like we're getting a movie fairly recently called Free Guy, which is kind of like this, where an NPC of a video game realizes he's in a video game, and the world around him is nuts. And it's like, what if you made a Cthulhu game, like or a horror game scenario or a story where a person suddenly realizes that reality is not reality is this weird competitive like horrible zany world, but he realized it or they never realized it. And that's when the sand checks start flowing because they've been so used to living their existence as a person in this world, and then suddenly suddenly they have their eyes opened up, or maybe you play it off of as like, have they just snapped, or are they hallucinating all this weird shit that's going on? Like these they're seeing like scores all over the place, and that's kind of like the going down that path is sort of going down the path of like a serial killer or like a deranged psychopath because they're suddenly seeing
working on
things.
His kill streak.
Exactly.
So summoned in a UAV like in Call of Duty.
Exactly. Like, and imagine like being like the investigators in a game scenario where you're wandering into a crime scene where like this guy like massacred this like group of people, and then when they're investigating the murder scene and stuff like that, there's like suddenly like vehicle treads where there shouldn't be, like they just like appear, like there shouldn't have been it should have like rode in here, but it starts at one location.
There's no tracks from the road. The tracks just appear. Yeah.
Yeah, or exactly. So it's like he's using like basically like blood magic, like, and to change like to reality code and like to basically get what he wants, sort of thing. It would actually kind of be like a mix of like sort of taking the idea of like ritual pastas, but like making it more fictional and more of a story based thing where it's like, okay, this guy's like a deranged psychopath and serial killer, but he's doing some really weird fucked up shit because he's actually summoning things into reality as a result of his high score of this scorekeeping that he's doing as part of his kill count. Like that's really fucked up.
Yes.
So yeah, that whole idea of like applying video game logic into reality is very good for like, I think, fodder for horror, for some story ideas. And Gunmetal Gary kind of exemplifies that a little bit because of how he do. And then we have that last reward tier, the 100,000 reward tier. And it's similar to like how Gunmetal Gary kind of like borders that like creepy and innocent sort, or like that awesome and creepy sort of like line of like the same way he does like Santa and such. This advert, like by the end of this this reward tier, we get like the 100,000 point rewards is you are beyond war, your time has come. And it sort of brings to mind that like, yeah, this entire advert borders that line of awesome and badass, but also really creepy and foreboding. Like, we don't get an answer, like a clear answer as to what you actually receive from 100,000. We're just given these two sentences. You are beyond war. Your time has come. So do you get God mode? Like, to add on to like video game mode? Like, do you suddenly get like that power up from Doom Eternal or Doom, where like you're suddenly untouchable, you're invincible, and you can just like rip and tear until it is done?
Oh, berserk or whatever it was.
You just suddenly go berserk, and you're like, or you get like it's like getting the star from Super Mario Brothers in reality. Yeah. It's like, and suddenly just like the super fast, like uncannily fast killing machine.
Just explode anything that you touch.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I love
if you blow up 10 people with your star active, then you get a free respawn. You get a 1-up.
Exactly. So yeah, and then when you get this has the potential to get really dark, like real world really dark, because like the person, like from the characters, like from that character's point of view, like this is all happening, but then they get gunned down by police, and then they like actually that could be the horror scenario, is like this person who was clearly this mass murderer who was clearly gunned down by police authorities like a couple of weeks ago, has been seen again, like he's moving around and doing the same fucking bullshit. Like they can't kill him because he's basically he knows how to ignite certain benefits of reality by doing blood rituals, a la a kill streak.
Yeah,
it has the potential to get really dark really fast. But also, like, I think it would be an interesting thing to tackle, especially adding in this like sort of fantastical element to sort of like not sugarcoat, but like essentially like make that like kind of address that terrible, creepy, like real world stuff in a more digestible format. So, but yeah, no, again, I like the idea of like, yeah, it just brings to mind more of the video game logic in reality that is terrifying.
It is.
So, but that's my actual thoughts, honestly. So, Mikey, D stands for evil.
So back to the advertisement.
Yeah.
So there's a quote here. Let them look upon the sky with terror. They've got the oceans, but they sure as fuck can't fly. Yet. Jeepers wow. My thought process is questioning is like, how does he know that they have the oceans? And then my thought process went to Holland Hank. And Holland Hank also disappears when the SCP try to capture them. So basically, Gunmetal Gary and Holland Hank maybe share a lunchroom in another dimension.
Brother. Well, okay.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah, they're brothers.
There you go.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Gunmetal Gary might fall into the same kind of like Americana mythos that we've kind of headcanoned for like Holland Hank, the Night Hauler, and what have you.
I mean, you did. I never heard them having a good old boy accent like you do, but you're welcome to your interpretation, of course.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, like it does feel like, again, like this is a CadaverCommander story, so it feels to me that like this is tying. This somewhat ties into the horrible mother biomass that has now taken over Guam. So like basically he's trying, like it seems like here like Gunmetal Gary is trying to, much like how Hank is hauling up the smaller things so that they're more digestible for the Foundation's military assets to deal with. Gunmetal Gary is trying to do something similar, and he's trying to help humanity by handing the ammunition out, by handing these weapons out, and like incentivizing people to fight off these monsters. And again, the Foundation is just kind of getting in the way.
I'm surprised that the Foundation hasn't taken any of his guns to do science on them.
They have confiscated. It does say that they do confiscate them, but I'm surprised.
Oh, okay. Because I remember reading something as well where he said, Foundation personnel are encouraged to not get any points.
Yeah, no,
which
yeah,
would
that's
be getting a gun.
Oh shit, you're right.
You get 1 point for getting a gun.
Under no circumstances are Foundation personnel to attempt to acquire or redeem civil defense points. But yeah, you get a civil defense point by simply picking up one of his guns. However, the Foundation, it then says, like in give me a second here while I pull it up. I thought it said somewhere where like they have confiscated all his stuff. Yeah. Okay. No, not been willingly accepted. No, that's people. No people have willingly accepted the items given by SCP-388401.
Did you fabricate this?
I might have. Did I fucking seriously fabricate another shotgun? Son of a bitch. Hang on.
Well, they've been given, but not.
Oh, here we go. Here, I found it. I think I found it. If SCP-3884 is stationed in a heavily populated area, Foundation assets will establish an observation cordon around SCP-3884 and immediately confiscate any items distributed to the populace by SCP-3884-01, while deflecting local law enforcement involvement. I thought I had read that earlier. So they do confiscate the items.
Which means that the Foundation has points. Probably a lot of points.
The Foundation as a whole probably does, but like that, I think that under no circumstances the Foundation personnel to attempt you are not to redeem any of your civil defense points. Like we know, one of us needs to pick up
that tank. You can't get it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Somebody's got to pick up all this fucking like weaponry and put it into storage. That's going to give you some points because this fucking crazy ass ghoul has a weird video game breaking reality breaking point system, but no one redeemed those points. Okay, Fred. Talking to you, Fred.
The tank.
Fred.
Okay.
The only problem is that the points are auto-redeemed.
I know.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit of a plot hole. It's like,
fuck, like it's, or like, hang on, because then, or you know what they do? They get a fucking D class to just do this, and then that also should be an extra like bit of this, because like there should actually be another like an addendum or something, because dealing with the person who has to pick up all the guns and put them into Foundation storage, because that guy is racking up all the points, because he's basically every time he picks up a gun from the pile, the weapon, like, he gets a point, right?
Yep.
So if there's like hundreds, if they keep using the same guy, also when he racks up the points, like, do they accumulate? Like after, like, so like, do you get suddenly? Is this guy like by five guns that he's picked up, he suddenly just gets like Gunmetal Gary just comes by and gives him body armor. So suddenly he has body armor on. On his 50, when he picks up 45 more guns. Does he suddenly get a flamethrower?
Yes.
And then when he gets 100, when he picks up 150 guns after that, does he suddenly get a 12 pack of Gunmetal Gary's signature perdition signal grenades? And then at 350 points, does he not get an Iron Devastator? And then if they keep using the same guy to collect all these points, like maybe they probably use different guys because they don't want anybody to rack up over 100,000 points, because then who knows what kind of monster they will unleash by summoning that.
But they may, but they, do they want to do science on it though?
Well, I know.
Because that's the only way you would figure out what the hell it means.
No, because it's you only get the point for grabbing a weapon from your pal Gunmetal Gary. So maybe here might be in defense of this scenario, in defense of the rule here. Because Gunmetal Gary, if nobody accepts him, he just starts throwing them into a pile, and then leaves. So maybe that doesn't count. You need to actually accept it from Gunmetal Gary himself. That's when you get the point.
I guess.
And so there go. And he signed. Maybe they are doing research on. Although it should be, I don't know. Maybe like even like a quick addendum or something should be popped in, like to just show like the scientists have done some chemical analyses and like whatnot of these weapons, and as far as they can tell, they are completely regular weapons, including the Nerf brand toy rifle that was spray painted black and given to a small child.
Well, that's the thing too. That even if no other people have actually taken guns, that kid has 1 point.
Which means he has he has 1 point. Which means he is 4 away from getting body armor.
Yes, and he's also like the only one that Gunmetal Gary's tracking, so he should probably be in containment. Honestly.
Oh yeah. That kid is definitely an SCP, or definitely a SCP-3884-01. -B like, or -A, like that's 01A is because he is now an infected vector, and it does say actually right above the rule of under no circumstances Foundation personnel attempt to redeem civil points or civil defense points, it does say all civilians and local law enforcement personnel exposed to SCP-3884 will be amnesticized. So they are basically told to forget and stuff like that, or like basically given the neuralizer juice.
Yeah.
But I'm sure a bunch of them that are exposed, like that kid who got the Nerf gun, I'm sure he's being monitored. At the very least, like being watched to make sure like he doesn't rack up any other points. Because like, what if he becomes like, what if that kid like later on becomes like, or like stops a crime or becomes a vigilante as a result of like being like talking to Gunmetal Gary and getting that Nerf gun?
Yeah.
And then like, what if he starts up a militia? Like,
yeah, that could be done so simply as like his friend might be like, "I'm gonna go steal a freaking candy bar," and the kid's just like, "No, you shouldn't, because that's bad. That stops a crime." So
that
he
would
get
stop a
points
crime,
for that, right?
Or like stopping his friend from like jaywalking. It's like, no. He just like leaps on his friend.
He's a kid. He doesn't really know. He's like, "No, your name isn't Jay. You can't do that."
God damn it.
He doesn't know any better.
Yeah.
He's just a little boy.
So that gives him 5 points. Suddenly he's that's suddenly like the kid gets body armor.
He just teleports onto him.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Like, it does say that like the prize is on the way. So like, does he drive over to the person's house? Like,
oh, maybe.
And hands knocks on the door and it's like, hey, are you this person? Like, oh no, he'd already know. It's like, hi, here's your free body or Gunmetal Gary body armor. And just like and then just walks away. I just imagine him humming like as he walks away, humming "Praise the Lord" and "Pass the Ammunition."
Yeah, it does seem like it's his theme song.
Yeah, like 100%, like that. And again, talking about something that borders from like interesting. Or not, no, it's just fucking creepy. Like it's just a creepy song. I'm sure it was innocent when it was written, maybe, but it's fucking creepy now.
I haven't heard it in a while. I basically know it though. Yeah.
Yeah. I still think my creepiest thing I saw, because I heard that in Fallout 76, and it was fitting because it was like an old timey, like conservative sort of like song, and it was very Americana. And then I was like, oh, that song doesn't exist. Like that song wouldn't be played nowadays. And then like a couple of weeks later, I was in my car driving like down a road and like listening to like the regular radio station, and it came on. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. I digress.
You do.
Yeah. No. So it seems like I think to kind of figure out what we were talking about last. I think that there isn't actually a loophole here because the Foundation just picks up the pile of guns that Gunmetal Gary just dumps when no one accepts his weapons. So I think they can get away from the point system that way. But that one kid is definitely under surveillance because who knows if he'll rack up some points just for existing and interacting with Gunmetal Gary.
Yeah, like once you get that first point from getting a gun, then you're on his watch list for getting additional points, even if you're not trying to.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you've pressed start, you've pressed play, you're in the game now, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, and what if that kid took on a bully at school? Would that be considered neutralizing an adversary?
Yeah, because it doesn't.
Neutralizing is killing.
No, hang on. It just says neutralize an adversary. Now that can mean like taking down I would think like I thought it might have been like an adversary isn't like one of the spawn of the mother. However, it doesn't specifically say that, so it could mean any kind of adversary. So
well, there's a later on one that says specifically a mother one.
Yeah, slay a beast of the mother. Yeah. So yeah, no, neutralize an adversary. Yeah, no, it's straight up just like defeating an enemy, like defeating a like a bully. Would that count as neutralizing an adversary? Like, or does it need to be? Do they need to be killed? It doesn't. It specifically says neutralize, which can.
Is that the kneecap one?
No. The kneecap one is actually stop a crime.
Oh, okay.
Which is that's just an example. Like that's the thing. Like these quotes underneath these point things. Nailed it. Like the way you acquire these civil defense points, like those little like blurbs underneath the like how you get them. They're just quotes. Like they might just be like an example that he gave.
Yeah.
So.
So, also,
God.
like taking the neutralized adversary a bit further, what if you're playing an online game and there's a guy that's got a kill streak,
Yeah.
and then
no,
you take him out?
It all starts with that one point that you get from accepting a weapon from Gunmetal Gary, and then you're in the game. So like, no matter what you do, he's able to his weird like the magic or the weird stuff that he doesn't even understand. It just starts working.
Yeah.
Like, the coding is in place. So yeah, no, like he'll be playing some like video games, or yeah, maybe he's playing some video games on like online and like defeats a boss, and then is that racking up a point or some points?
It's like an infinite freaking rabbit hole that you just get yourself into.
Yep. My God, no wonder this guy really is actually a major threat. if that is the case.
We're also making wild assumptions here.
Yeah, but I mean, this is a very wild character, so.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is what we do. We are being very critically silly. We are hitting a critical point in silliness right now.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Mikey, good job.
Yeah. And the next question I have is, does he change the prize at 200 points when he realizes that they can fly?
Oh shit! Well, yeah. At what point? Yeah, I'm actually now curious, like history-wise, when was this written versus the that one? Okay, so this was done.
Because honestly, they do have flying units already. Like the freaking
guys, hang on.
blimp.
No, like the corpse blimp or the giant corpse thing.
Flesh blimp.
Yeah, the flesh blimp. So guess when this guess what date this was posted? This was first posted.
I don't know. When's that?
April 1st, 2018.
Ah, shit.
I mean, it's fine. It's still like it is kind of a silly silly SCP, but it's also kind of creepy if you think about it. But it's also a canonical like character in several different stories. So, but yeah, no, I like that. So that was this came out in 2018. When did the Flesh Blimp come out of? When was that one? I think that one was 3894.
It's hard to keep track of the.
I know there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the Bearers. Damn it. 3897. Actually, wow. So this actually, SCP-3897 or the giant floating flesh blimp or corpse blimp, it came out the February 26, 2018. So Gunmetal Gary apparently has not been made aware of it yet.
Yeah.
As of this, so. Or maybe he just hasn't updated his point system.
Flyers yet?
Yeah. Yeah, because we also don't know how old those flyers are when he made them. Like, he might be reusing some old flyers that are slightly out of date.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine, like, if he was to update them, the 12 pack of Gunmetal Gary Perdition signal grenades would just signal an airstrike, but like basically like Predator drones. Like some drones with weapons attached to them.
Mm-hmm. That works.
Rather than like and also like, yeah, it is an airstrike, so it's like a air to ground missiles is what I'm kind of assuming it is, like a bombardment of some kind. But
it's probably artillery.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, or missiles. You never know.
Mm-hmm. And if it is from artillery,
can do whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah. Gary is literally the code master right now in this.
Mm-hmm.
Silly and terrifying at the same time.
Silifying.
So,
yeah,
Mikey.
Yeah. So, continuing my one thought. So, just thinking that there's another dimension or whatever where obviously Gunmetal Gary goes. Holland Hank and
The Night Hauler.
the Night Hauler, yeah. So basically, they just sit down for lunch.
Yeah. They go to the diner.
There you go. It's all connected.
Yeah. Wow.
That means they eat flesh, though, unless they always order the burger. Although that's also flesh.
That's also flesh. Yeah, that's also human flesh.
Yes.
Or it's maybe some kind of like some ethereal gas stop or like gas station or truck stop that they all meet at in the shadow plane.
Yeah.
Just some good old boys.
Yeah, and Holland Hank's always on Gunmetal Gary's ass, like, have you distributed the guns yet? Come on.
I've been trying. Nobody's taken. I thought this was America. I thought they'd accept them with open arms, but apparently not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America. I'm sorry. To do a South Park reference of Randy being drunk and being hauled away by the cops.
Oh, okay.
With his pants around his ankles every time.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
Nice. I did think that was kind of hilarious. That like really, guys, not one person accepted these weapons.
It's a zombie handing them out.
That's true. Also, yeah. Oh, the one kid, one person accepted it. It was a little kid, which makes sense because still like kids would have. Some kids think zombies are cool.
Yes.
So.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd be correct, but
other kids are wrong.
Other kids are stupid. No.
Yeah.
That's the end of my actual thought.
Okay. Gamer.
See if I have much to talk about here. So, I was reading through it, and the first time it brought up the civil defense points, before it even gets to the flyer, it says, under no circumstances are Foundation personnel to attempt to require redeem civil defense points. The scouts, like, they're earning points towards the civil...
This is a hard concept, Gamer. You're expected to continue reading and get the context of what was laid out like as a tease.
Whoa.
I mean, again, it's foreshadowing. It's stories do that all the time.
Yes. I did also that night watch a movie about a bunch of like Boy Scout kids being led into the forest by an escaped con, and they have to like become friends and prove that he's innocent and save the day.
Is that Bush? Did you watch Bushwhacked?
I did.
Bushwhacked.
With the one guy that's one of the robbers from Home Alone.
I have also seen this movie, Bushwhacked.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to say his name is like Lloyd or something. No, Daniel Stern.
There you go.
Who was Marv from Home Alone.
Yes, and also this character, which is the same goddamn character, just innocent.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's why it's Bushwhacked.
Did you watch Bushwhacked? Like, you just knew. You didn't have to look it up or nothing.
Yeah, I know, 100%. It's like, as soon as he's like, because I was like, at first I was like, is he referencing an Ernest movie? He's like, no, that's Bushwhacked. I too have that in my childhood viewing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my next quote is literally just when he brings up he's some kind of goddamn shotgun wizard. And me basically saying, so he's like a manifestation of the old fabricated shotgun joke that we've been running on for years with you, eh?
Yes, exactly, and I caught on to that immediately. Also, I just love that turn, like that. I love that line. It's just like, where is that? It's like, I can make these things out of thin air, like some kind of goddamn shotgun wizard.
Yeah, it's great
for reasons.
I wish it just said for reasons. Period.
Yeah, instead of that are beyond my understanding. Yeah,
just for reasons. Period. Move on.
It's just so fucking good. Like it's like. It's not scary. This is like a trauma film sort of like character, or like sort of like a horror comedy where it's like or like that movie that I still want to see so bad, but like Psycho Goreman, where it's a bunch of like it's horror, but there's also a lot of comedy to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, it's just over the top silly, but with like horror themes.
Yes. My next quote is about the Iron Devastator and how he says, specifically the part where they said a tank the size of a house was too much. I said, go fuck yourself. For me, I'm just like, hell yeah, that's the kind of sales pitch I can get behind.
Yeah.
It also reminded me of how I was forced to look something up last week due to playing Agents of Mayhem. Where on one of the loading screens, Hollywood, one of the main characters, says, he says, the most adorable animal on the planet is the Japanese momanga, and if you don't agree with me, go fuck yourself. Be-do-do-do-do, Agents of Mayhem.
Yeah.
That's the loading screen.
Yeah.
To those interested, please look up a Japanese momanga. It is the cutest little creature on the planet Earth.
And if you don't agree, go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, it's just such a great it's such a it's just such a very I can't even put the words together of like how like iconic that phrase is, like or like how much of an attitude that phrase has.
Yeah, like
it's
I'm right, and if you're wrong, go fuck yourself because I'm right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just like it's so much like. It just it screams American America. Fuck yeah!
Wow.
And it kind of also like this is Gunmetal Gary a bonehead from Vulture Gulch? Like is he an escapee from there? Like or was he because he did like in the story of Joey Fucknuts, he does have a he does seem to have a knowledge of that location. Like
he might have been a proto one or something.
Maybe
that escaped.
Yeah, and then he was given. Maybe he's actually not even like originally a part of SCP-3884. Maybe he found SCP-3884 and decided to become its driver, like a la like a Night Hauler style, like how like the Night Hauler may not be the Night Hauler himself, but the truck. Versus how this is another it's a military cargo truck that dispenses military hardware. Like it's another kind of like from this like trucker pantheon that's sort of like spawned out of this.
Mm-hmm. Glorious.
Or maybe SCP-3884 is just another avatar of the Night Hauler and that truck. Like it changes its form, but they're the same entity.
Mm-hmm. Possible.
Mm-hmm.
And my only other note is in regards to the 100,000.1, where it's you are beyond war, your time has come. I'm assuming that means like he's getting drafted to fight the Mother on a more official and super-powered role at that point, like whoever gets that level.
Yeah, exactly. Like, is this the other like? Because like we know that the Mother is being combated by the Admiral, or by the Withered King. He's being they're being fought off by like Holland Hank is doing his part. With the Foundation is clearly doing their part. Is this like, and again we've kind of speculated who the big boss is from the Vulture Gulch guys, like, and how like it might be the connection to like the Night Hauler and stuff. So like down in that trench, SCP, there is that third option. Remember, like the Admiral pulls bodies from that character select screen, and the Mother pulls bodies from that character select screen. And then there's the third option where like the avatar of the Night Hauler shows up and basically like leads them down a new path. Was
it confirmed to be the Night Hauler in that?
Yeah, well, it links to it's speculated that figure, based on his dialect and his appearance, he is very similar in appearance and personality, or like or in dialogue to the Night Hauler.
Okay.
So that's what the speculation is, and I think it's maybe reading between the lines, like it is that character. But my question here is that like is Gunmetal Gary like is the 100,000 point like redemption code, like is that basically like is that the army you go to if that's indeed like where you what your prize is you become a much better fighter and you basically join the Night Haulers like skirmishers basically.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we may never know because the Foundation is keeping everyone from getting points.
Yeah, god damn it.
I do think they should have a D-class guy just to earn points.
Yeah, just to see what happens.
Yeah.
I think that would actually be an interesting like add-on for this story, or like for this entry, or even like a story for this. And I mean, who knows? Maybe that story that is linked is like has something like kind of mixed with that, like where we find out more about like the point system. We just need to read that at some point.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, I think that would also be like an interesting thing, like to have like as like an addendum in this SCP is like the Foundation has had several D-class subjects tinker with the guns and weapons to try and rack up points to see what exactly how exactly it happens.
Like the best science for them to do on that was like they get a D-class to get 1 point. Cool. They leave them at 1 point to see if there's any adverse effects to that, and then get another guy to get 5 points and leave them at that pointage. Like, have a D-class for each point scale to see if there's any adverse effects to getting the gifts from him.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's a pretty quick and easy read. Like aside from the hyperlink that is hidden to another story. But there's a lot of like I feel like there's a lot of fun here with this character. And we kind of got a tease of that when he met Joe. Oh, why do I keep wanting to say Joho Baggy?
Who the hell is that?
It's a character me and a friend came up with for a potential webcomic like years back.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like we got that. We kind of got a tease of Gary when we read the Joey Fucknuts stories. And this just sort of continues on, like elaborating on the character and his vehicle.
I wonder where the hell his vehicle was in that.
It was somewhere in the woods.
Or he exploded, so he's somewhere in the vehicle somewhere else, so he has to go find it again.
Yeah. Although it's weird because he usually appears in the southwest of America, not in Ontario, which we discovered he apparently was in like some provincial forest in Canada's Ontario.
Yeah, okay, so he appeared down there, and then that would probably mean he has his truck. Otherwise, how would he get up there?
So my question, if we do get another Joey story, will that be like Joey does have to abandon his car, his plane, and they're in Gary's truck driving through the forest away from Foundation members?
That'd be cool.
Or does maybe in order to like stall the Foundation, Gary specifically like sacrifices his truck for this version of his truck and just runs into heads towards the Foundation members to try and like get them to trigger the explosion.
Oh, that's cool. So he blows up and teleports away with his truck, and Joey gets away.
It's like, I'll make sure you get away, Joey. It's like, thanks, Gary. Cool guys don't look at explosions. Yeah, no, wow.
I'd be down.
Yeah, I'd definitely be down to clown with that story.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess with that we get into final thoughts, which is kind of where I was kind of leading with that. I love Gunmetal Gary. His shenanigans are great fodder for I think potentially more stories about him, and even like horror game scenarios about like what he does, because like he does it like happy-go-lucky, but it can also be turned around on its head and made horrifying from a mundane human perspective. So yeah, I'm gonna recommend this entry. It's fun, and as it seemed to be, like it was probably an April Fool's episode, like April Fool's sort of story, but it's still like really fun and worth the read, I feel. So that's my recommendation. Mikey, the East Ends for Evil.
Yeah, it was nice to get some backstory for the Gunmetal Gary that shows up in Joey Makes a Friend.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we'll get a sequel to that one.
Yeah, hopefully.
But yeah, and this is back to just the regular SCP entries, which this is fine as far as that goes. So I'm going to recommend it.
And gamer. And gamer.
Lost
We're
gamer.
typing up. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
So for me, I kind of feel bad for Gary, honestly, because unlike his brothers, he isn't allowed to help. Because Holland Hank, he's allowed to spawn creatures as much as he wants, and the Foundation puts them down because they know it's for the greater good, because there'll be bigger ones if he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
The Night Hauler, he's allowed to drive as fast as he wants. He's transporting shit. He's doing it. He's gonna do it. No one's allowed to have Gary's guns.
It's funny because like
Waste.
Holland Hank and Night Hauler, they're allowed to get away with it because they can't be stopped. Like I almost feel like for Gunmetal Gary, like he is maybe like slightly lower on the tier of God of like this pantheon, because like his stuff doesn't like it. No matter what, it ends up in the person's arms. Like it's not being forced upon somebody. Like he's giving them the choice, and everyone is denying him.
Yeah, which is why I feel bad for him, because he's
Yeah,
like,
no,
I just
I
want to help America.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
No one wants to take my cool guns. What the fuck?
Go take our guns.
Yeah.
Uh,
They took our germ.
but yeah, no, it is kind of sad. It's like he's just trying to help, but like no one's trusting him.
Yeah, like think about it. He does this for 2 years. The only person that's taken a gun is a kid, and it was a
It's a Nerf
super
gun.
soaker.
It was a Nerf brand toy rifle, so it was not a super soaker. It was
Oh, it was Nerf. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Still,
Yeah.
How bad would you feel as Gary? Having this
I feel
awesome
really bad.
power,
Maybe
I can
that-
manifest a freaking Barrett M82 out of thin air. It works perfectly. It's
Oh
an
my
amazing
God.
sniper rifle, and just no one wants it.
I just figured out why he was he was in Canada's he was in Ontario's like provincial woods or provincial forest. He's just given up. Like at that point in the story in the world, like in the continuity, he's given up. He's just like fuck it. Like if no one's taking this, fuck it. I'm gonna go up north. I'm going on a vacation from all this bullshit. No one's taking my shit. And then like he was just camping out in the woods, just like trying to find himself. And then he met his friend Joey, or he met this new friend of his, Joey.
That's surprisingly plausible.
I just like as soon as he runs, like he's like after 2 years, he's made one sale.
Yeah.
And he's just given up. Like that's why he was so bitter and like and whatnot in when he first met Joey, is because he's like he feels like he's been like the world's been like beating him up for not like taking his stuff.
Just because he's a horrifying zombie creature.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually my headcanon now. Like,
CadaverCommander, I hope you're taking notes for this. Like, so we. I mean, again, like I'm half joking because like this would be.
Yeah,
really
we're
cool.
half
Like,
joking.
We're giving you gold. But, like, yeah, no, like legit. That's gonna be my headcanon now as to why he was up north. He's given up.
Damn right.
And it took. Oh my! Does that make that even more of a buddy horror now? Because like, he was down on his luck, like giving up, out camping, just like or trying to find himself, and then he met his new friend.
That's pretty buddy horror to me.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, hell, they might get back to the campsite and he has a human friend there. He's just a dude. His name's Steve.
Who was the kid?
I don't know
You
what
all
you're
grown-
referencing,
all
but
grown
I'll
up?
laugh.
No, the kid who got the Nerf gun who's all grown up.
Oh, yeah.
Like maybe that was a couple of years ago. So now he's like maybe again like maybe Gunmetal Gary. You know, maybe the kid somehow racked up 100,000 points, and like you are beyond war. You are beyond or you're beyond war. Your time has come. You join me now. We're buddies on the road.
Yeah.
Like that's what happens when you get the 100,000 points. You become a companion to Gunmetal Gary.
Nice.
You become he become his best pal.
They're forced to be friends.
Yeah, we're friends now. It's like a fucking anime trope, but like instead of like you get like the boy character gets like a girlfriend for through like accidental reasons. They get like a pal.
Mhm.
They get a roommate as a result.
Of course.
Oh my god, I want that. I want this story. God damn it.
Mhm.
Again,
Overall
I think it's
recommendation.
yeah. Sorry.
Overall recommendation. I did enjoy the read. It was quick and easy to read. I don't know how I feel about jumping into an entire 25 story
Well,
pantheon of other things
again,
to get that little bit.
again, like I think we brought it up last time, but like I think it's a story that was collected into this act, so it might be able to be read like on its own.
Yeah, maybe.
Or it might be part of a series. I'll look into it before we do any like commitments to it. But
Yes.
or at least I'll try to remember to, because we all know how spotty my memory is for plans on the show.
All good.
Looking at you, Slender Vlog Theater. When was the last time we did that? 2 years ago. Shut up, past me.
I mean, yeah, things happen. Either way, I will recommend it. It's a shame that he can't do his job.
Yeah.
Like, even if the Foundation is like, recovered weapons have been fully tested and they are functional, so they are being used. Great. That's fine. He's arming the Foundation. That's cool.
That
But
would
it sounds
be,
like they're just throwing it in a cargo container.
Yeah, exactly.
Which sucks.
Oh my god, can you imagine, like, next time on Storage Wars? They open up, what the fuck? They find this,
That's awesome.
and like, yeah, just like, yeah, and SC, like, because like bureaucratic like snafus happen, so like that would be a hilarious thing if like an SCP Foundation like cargo like storage container gets auctioned off at through like a Storage War style thing, and that's when the points start getting racked up, and like Gunmetal Gary's just like off in the woods, like, man, why do I even? Huh? Oh my god, somebody's using my guns.
I can feel the points.
I can feel the points. They're going. They're flowing. Yes.
You get body armor.
You get body armor, and you get body armor. Yeah, and you get a cremator, and you get some perditions, and you, oh, you friend, you get an iron devastator. Kabam! Oh my god.
He's a fun character. I just want them to do more with him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think that's why we're all recommending him. Is much like Joey Fucknuts and the boneheads of Vulture Gulch. He's just a fun fucking horror character. Like,
he is.
Yeah.
I just really think the Foundation should take advantage of him, like not in a bad way, in a good way. Like use him as an asset.
Yeah. Like, who knows? Maybe this is another way of them like creating a funner version of the project, or was it Project Siren, or Project Siren, which is the using the anchor and a bunch of like thaumaturgical siphons or whatever to like create like ghost soldiers. What if this is the funner way of doing that, where it's just like, all right, we need to rank up our soldiers. Our soldiers need to rank up some points so they get 100,000 points to become beyond war.
Yeah.
To become
so your
berserkers.
soldiers drafted into the Foundation. Here's your rewards card. If you if you do all these rewards, you will be gifted these armaments. Don't ask. It has to be this way.
Yeah, here's your record. Wait, what? And they look at it. It's just like, it's like this, like, I just imagine this like hastily drawn, like shit, like kind of like just like amateurishly drawn like like chart that is basically what like Gunmetal Gary like puts on his guns.
Yeah,
it just like has a little cartoon of Gunmetal Gary with like the Vault Boy is like thumbs up and just like a winking face.
Yeah.
I might need to draw this now. God damn it.
Or like Marcus from Borderlands.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, it's done up like a Borderlands-esque sort of like advert.
Mm-hmm.
Catch a gun. Huh.
Never doing that again.
Yeah. And yeah, just have basically that's the lighter super soldier program of the Foundation is just racking up these in-world, like the in-reality game points to become a better soldier.
It's fucking cool. It's weird and it's so fucked up, but cool.
Exactly. That's what I love about it. It's kind of bordering a little bit more on like the weird fiction sort of angle, but like it's just fun and like horrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
Humor, horror, together.
Ooh, you did it.
I did a thing. But yeah, I think so. Yeah, literally roundhouse kick to the recommendations, like, all around. We're back to form with CadaverCommander stories.
Yeah.
CadaverCommander, we never doubted you. There were just
Except for that one time we doubted you, and we're sorry.
we're sorry.
It's still needs work.
But yeah, no, I and again, at some point I do want to sit down. I am going to off recording read that story that is hyperlinked and see if it is manageable for our show, because otherwise, like, that would be looking at like 20, like partitioning off like 24 episodes of our show, like, to an entire SCP storyline.
Yeah.
And I mean, it might be a fun
Yes.
thing to do. It might be a fun thing to try, because our backlog isn't that much far, like, in terms of like stories that have been recommended and stuff. So it might be worth trying out like sometime in the future. But
We'll see how fun the first story is that we're being directly linked in.
yeah, because we're also not sure, like, because I think they're not all by the same person. I think they're like a collection of stories. So there might be different authors and different like viewpoints and stuff like that. But they are all like sort of like darkly whimsical in nature, from the sounds of it. Like from what I gleaned off of the about page for the canon.
Please, it's in the boot page.
Yeah, in the about page. Yeah.
There you go.
Hang on. Yeah, because it's and for those interested, it is the Dread and Circus canon of SCP, and the story that we might read at some point down the road is Undead, Insane, and Fully Loaded, which already sounds like a really fucking funny, like a fun like title for a story. If Gary is in fact a lead in it. But I digress yet again. We all recommend this.
Digressing.
Mm-hmm. It's how I get around the tangent police.
I see.
It's like their banishing word. By saying that, I immediately remove them from my vicinity.
Yes, it's like, oh, he's digressing. Okay, we're good.
Yeah, it's like,
Clear.
Oh, you win this time. Review cultist.
We'll get you next time, cultist.
Next time. But I digress. That's gonna be my new thing, I think.
Yeah.
This SCP entry, SCP-3884, is worth reading and worth checking out if you want to have a good time. We all recommend it, and Gunmetal Gary is fucking metal as fuck and awesome. So, that'll do it for this episode. And we'll do it for SCPs for a little while for us, anyways. Like, we covered all the SCPs that were in the rabbit hole from the Joey Fucknuts sagas, like from those stories. So we still have a couple of SCPs that we've grabbed from reading these SCPs, but we're gonna take a break from those. We'll line that up for another month at some point down the road. But until next time, if you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave a comment in the comment section below. This gets posted, whether it be on Podbean, Facebook, YouTube, or Tumblr. We're all on Twitter. Mikey is at the E stands for evil. The Gamer in Yellow is at the Gamer in Yellow, but without that W because his name's very long. And I'm at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com. Or you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, spooka-things, sightings online of cryptids, creepy videos. Let us know. We'll take a look at them. We'll read them. We'll discuss them and post them on our episodes. And if you'd like to help support the show financially, you can go to Patreon. Look up Al Dente Rigor Mortis and select the backer tier you'd like to support us at. We have $2 and $5 tier with special episodes, early access, extra content. To our patrons that are already helping support the show, thank you guys immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay, and as always, we very much appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And to our listeners and the authors of these stories, CadaverCommander, once again, we salute you. To our listeners, if you weren't listening to our show, it would be like screaming into the void. And no one wants that, because then the void will talk back. And that's when the sanity starts melting away. And if you weren't writing these stories and sharing them online, well, we definitely wouldn't have much of a show because there'd be nothing to talk about. So, thank you. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
Mikey, D stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And this has been Al Dente Rigor Mortis. Sleep well.